Hi, I'm Alex, welcome to the channel and thanks for tuning in. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about LCA, Landcadia Holdings and its merger with Golden Nugget Online Gaming. I've covered this stock a couple of times on the channel before, doing more detailed due diligence videos, so you should definitely check out those. The links are in the description below. This video is primarily an update video and it's one of two parts. This part's focused on the strategy, the merge date itself and the management team, and the other video, hopefully coming out in the next couple of days, focused on financials, revenue projections and potential implications that has on valuation. If you're an investor in this stock, then you definitely don't want to miss these. If you're new to the channel and like investor related content, then smash the subscribe button. If you like this video, then please smash the like button. It's so helpful in pushing the channel to a wider audience. As well as that, it's also really helpful in improving the channel's like to dislike ratio, which always takes a hammering when we talk about the certain risks on a stock. On this channel, when we talk about a stock, we'll always look at the positives and the negatives. We'll never sugarcoat anything. All good investors know what the risks are and understand what the mitigants to those are. So please smash the like button and help improve that. As always, I'm not a financial advisor. This video is purely for entertainment and educational purposes only, but let's get straight into it. Now, the first thing to talk about is the merger vote date itself. I know there's a lot of frustration from people out there that the date hasn't yet been announced, that we're still waiting, and that the share price is ultimately doing nothing in this period of time. All we know currently from their filings is that that date should be before the end of November. However, I'm not unduly worried by this, and if you're a long-term investor in the stock, I don't think you should be either. Hear me out. The Golden Nugget Online Gaming management team are very high caliber. They've got great track records, they're very experienced, and they know what they're doing. They have an amazing opportunity at their disposal. They have the opportunity to become the market leader across the US as online gaming gets legalized in more states. We know that subject to regulatory approval, they will be entering at the start of 2021, Michigan and Pennsylvania, and management are preparing for that to make sure that they're best positioned to capitalise on that market opening up and become the market leader there. That is so important for the long-term future of this stock. The management team here are really focused on the long-term picture, not around building PR and hype around the merger itself. This I see as a real positive rather than a negative. Now, I know a lot of people are frustrated that this SPAC hasn't seen the same phenomenal share price growth that we have seen with a number of others this year. However, if you're a long-term investor, you shouldn't be unduly worried by this. What this gives you is an opportunity to acquire more shares whilst the valuation is still fair. Now, that frustration does make a little bit more sense if you are an event-driven investor, i.e. trading around the catalyst, the news flow. However, personally I'm not, and I'm not unduly concerned by this. I see it as really positive that management are more focused on ensuring they can deliver that strategy and the growth, rather than driving the share price increase in the short term. Delivering on that strategy, becoming the market leader across the US is what will drive the share price long term. Now, this approach from management does also make sense when you look at the investor base. Versus other SPACs, LCA does have a disproportionately high number of institutional investors in the investor base. Again, those are investors who are not trading around the short-term catalysts and instead are in for the long term and are looking for management to deliver on the strategy. Ultimately, management delivering on that strategy is something that they are held accountable for by investors. Again, for me, this is positive, and it gives me confidence that the management have a long-term strategy, a long-term view, which is good when I have a long-term investment horizon. I would be very concerned if I saw management purely trying to drive the PR and the hype around the merger date and trying to deliver on short-term share price increases. For what it's worth, my honest view is that I think the announcement will be made about the merger vote date post the election. It makes no sense to do it before then. There's so much uncertainty and volatility in the market, and ultimately, depending on the outcome of the election and any potential fallout from that, I think we will see it either at the end of November or perhaps, if there is some slippage to that, before year end. Again, if you're a long-term investor and not purely waiting for the news to sell the shares, then do not stress about this. This date does not change the underlying fundamental investment thesis. Additionally, online, there's been a lot of frustration directed towards the management team of this. Now, the management team are really high quality. They know what they're doing and they will deliver on this strategy, and that's their primary focus. We should see this as a positive rather than a negative. If their primary focus now was driving that hype and PR around the transaction, then they wouldn't be as well positioned come the opening up of new markets to capitalise on the opportunity and become market leader there. And that's exactly what's needed to deliver the investment thesis that we've all invested into. Now, one other thing worth noting recently is that Jim Cramer is supportive of the company. Now, I'm genuinely not sure if that is a good thing or a bad thing. I personally don't put too much focus on what he says. However, you can't argue that he does have a wide reach and that things like this will put it on the radar of more investors. So all along I've said, for me, this is a long-term investment. I think it's an incredibly exciting opportunity the company has to be one of the leading iGaming providers in the US as more markets open up and allow it. Personally, I'm not frustrated by the fact that share price hasn't seen that massive growth. In my next video on LCA coming out in a couple of days, I look into the financials, and that paints a really, really exciting picture and is something that, as investors in LCA, we should be excited about. A number of the SPACs which do have management teams which are more focused on driving that hype and PR around the merger are the ones which have demonstrated that those share price increases are much less sustainable. And ultimately, that's sometimes why you see a large decrease in share price following the merger. So all in all, I'm inspired by the fact that the management team are more focused on delivering the strategy than building up PR and hype around the transaction. I do think the merger will be effected before year end. And personally, I'm not worried about this short-term lack of share price growth. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please smash the like button. If you're new to the channel and like investor related content, then subscribe to the channel. And as always, let me know your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in another video.